Israeli Businesses, Your Business and the EU podcast. This is a series of short podcasts brought to you by the EU Trade Support Team. As always, we're going to have a look at deciphering some of the key issues that local businesses are facing. I'm Shawnee, and today I've got the relatively easy job of asking the questions, and in the hot seat, who I'm sure is going to have all the answers, is our lovely Ben Bradford. How are you doing, Ben?
Hello, Shawnee, and hello everyone listening as well. I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. We've got our cuppers. You've got your notes, so let's dive on in.
Yeah, why not?
So as you know, Ben, today I wanted us to have a quick look at commodity codes.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to look at commodity codes is because I've noticed that businesses are now paying particular attention to them, and it's causing a few headaches. So I think a good thing for today would be if you can give me an answer to some really important questions. So firstly, what is a commodity code? Hopefully that's an easy enough start.
Yeah.
Then let's have a look at why commodity codes are important, and really interestingly, how do I find the right commodity code? Finally, I want to know what can be done if a business is struggling to locate the right commodity code. How does that sound?
That sounds pretty good to me. I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of some of the key questions, and like you said, it's causing a few headaches, but hopefully we can sort through those headaches out today.
Absolutely. So I can see that you are dying to run through what you've got for us. So I'll stop talking and I'll let you loose on the first question. So Ben, what is a commodity code?
Right, well, I suppose one way which I like to think about commodity code and describe a commodity code is by describing them as a passport number for your goods. So I suppose simply put, the commodity codes tell customs what is in the package or container which you are shipping. You may hear them referred to as obviously commodity code, some might refer to them as a tariff code or the harmonised system code, but really we're talking about the same thing here. I suppose what people may need to be aware of is that in the vast majority of countries, they use the same first 6 digits, and that's what the harmonised system is. But the digits that follow those first 6 can be specific to each customs territory. So let's say you're importing a shoe. In one country, you might need 8 digits to do that. To import the same shoe into a different country, you might need 10 digits or 12 maybe. So you might find that if you're importing into the UK compared to importing into the EU, that sometimes you need a slightly different or a slightly longer commodity code. But I think I'll stop there because I'm starting to lead into a different question.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben. So you've explained there what a commodity code is. But can you tell us a little bit more about why they're so important?
Yeah, of course. Well, I suppose I gave a little bit away in my last answer when I said that commodity code tell customs what is in the package and what it is that you're shipping. But I just don't think you can really overstate how important it is that you get your commodity code correct and customs are correctly notified of what goods you are importing or exporting. I mean, in terms of customs, commodity code will inform them if there are any restrictions on a certain product, or whether there's any additional steps you might need to take. These could be, you might need authorization, or maybe there's a health certificate that you might need, just to name a couple of quick examples. It'll tell you whether there's a quota on your goods. Has that quota already been met? Have your goods been correctly packaged and labelled? I suppose the answers to all of these different questions stem from the commodity code. So you get your commodity code wrong at the beginning, then you're setting yourself up to fail as you go down the line. On a financial point, and one which I think interests most businesses we speak to, the commodity code will clarify whether your goods are subject to a VAT exemption, but also, very importantly, whether any duty is payable and what that duty rate is. So if you hope to rely on a preferential tariff rate under a free trade agreement, so let's take the UK-EU Trade and Cooperation Agreement, for example, the commodity code will clarify how to apply the rules of origin in order for a business to access the preferential tariff rate. But if you can't rely on a preferential tariff rate, then again, you go back to the commodity code, and that will outline how much duty is payable. Now, that duty rate can vary between being as low as 0 or 2%, up to as high as 12, 14%, or even higher. So start to see that if you get the commodity code wrong, then you might be paying the wrong duty, which that might not seem an issue right now. People might think, hey, as long as I manage to import my goods, then what's the issue? But what we try and get people to think along the lines of is, well, what happens if you get audited by HMRC? You'd find at that point that you'd have plenty of issues. So it's really important to get it right from the beginning. And that's something people need to, I think, really understand.
Right, okay, so we've covered what commodity codes are, and now you've clearly outlined the importance of getting the commodity code right. But I think it's really important for people to know how to find the right commodity code.
Mm-hmm. No, Grace, I suppose. Well, firstly, let's discuss importing, let's say, into the UK. Now, if this applies to you, then I would recommend using the UK Global Tariff, which is known as the UK GT, and that can be found on the gov.uk website. Work in a couple of ways. If you already know your commodity code, that's great. Then all you simply need to do is input that into the search box, and it will come up with the relevant information for that commodity code. Alternatively, if you're unsure on the correct commodity code, you can simply enter the name of your goods into the search box, at which point then it would come up with a list of commodity codes that might apply to what you've searched, similar to how Google works or something like that. Or you can use the list of sections to find the right chapter for your goods, and then you can get more and more specific further down into it you go until you find the final commodity code for your product. So for example, you're importing a live horse, you'd start on the section for animals, and you would go through until you found the horse and the right commodity code for you. So then if we flip down its head and talking about exporting, I'd recommend using the check how to export goods facility, again on the gov.uk website. And really that works very similar to the UK GT, one that we've just talked about. I suppose importantly, the information is obviously tailored to exporting and not importing. Important to note, I suppose, with this service, you also select the country of destination, and you put in the commodity code. So what that does is that gives you all the information that's not only specific to that product, but also specific to the destination country. So both of the services really, what they'll do is they'll just help you and any business to find the right commodity code, and you provide you with information like the commodity chapter notes, the duty rate which is payable, the VAT rate, any specific restrictions or requirements for importing that product. So that really is the place to go.
So just so people are aware, that is the UK global tariff for importing goods.
Yeah.
And you'd recommend to check the check how to export service for exporting goods, and both of these can be found on the gov.uk website.
Absolute spot on.
Lovely. So, last question from me today, Ben. I'm presuming that there are times when someone, no matter how hard they try, just cannot say with 100% certainty that they have found the correct commodity code. Is there any support available for these people to try to help them to locate the right commodity code?
Yeah, like you said, Shawnee, it does happen, and I think it's important to stress that it's okay if it does. As we've mentioned, it's very important that businesses get the right commodity code. So if you require a little bit of assistance to do that, that's absolutely fine. It's HMRC, actually, where people need to look and they need to go. They offer two separate services, depending on the type of support and the level of support that businesses require. Businesses can pick which service is best for them. Firstly, they could use HMRC's tariff classification service, and what that does is that provides you with informal, non-legally binding advice. With that, it's a quick service. HMRC aims to get back to requests within 5 working days, And it's ideal really if a business thinks they found the right commodity code, they just want a bit of reassurance just to back up what they've found. That's ideal for them. If a business wants to go further with the type of support that they need, then they can apply to HMRC for a legally binding decision. Now that's known as an advanced tariff ruling. These can take up to 120 days to be processed, so we are talking a lot longer, but it gives you that clarity and peace of mind, and usually that lasts for 3 years. So importantly, I suppose both these services, they are free. They're there free of charge for businesses to access and get the most out of. And like I said, HMRC is the place to go for that.
So what we're saying here is that HMRC can offer a business support, and that the level of that support really is up to the business.
Precisely. Business can pick between those two, see what's best for them, and that's what they can go and do.
Well, thanks, Ben. I think that's answered the questions that I had for you today. What I would say is that if a business feels they need a more in-depth discussion or a more tailored advice on commodity codes, they can contact our EU trade support team.
Plus, if you want a link to, I suppose, any of the government services which we've discussed today, then by all means, business can get in touch as well. Important to reiterate, all those government services that we just talked about there, they're all free of charge. So whether you want to use the UK GT or make the most of an advanced tariff ruling, they are free.
Definitely, and getting in touch with us could not be easier. You can access support through our 24-hour helpline. So if you need help with commodity codes or understanding the new UK-EU relationship, even if it's outside of normal business hours, you can get in touch with our helpline. The number for that is 01642 662 778. Alternatively, you can contact us via email at EUBusinessSupport@teesvalley-ca.gov.uk, and from there we'll be able to answer any queries, and if necessary book a telephone or a Teams appointment and we can discuss any issues in more detail.
Yeah, I suppose like you said, Shawnee, I think it's important that people realise we're here to help with any issues concerning the new UK-EU relationship and the opportunities wider afield. So whether that is commodity codes or the wider aspects of importing and exporting, it could be visa applications, it could be the VAT implications, or it could be CE markings, we're here to help. I can't stress enough really that for Tees Valley businesses, this is a free service, so give us a ring, give us an email, we're here to help.
Yeah, it's very true, Ben. So that number again is 01642 662 778, and our email address is EUBusinessSupport@teesvalley-ca.gov.uk. So finally, I hope you've enjoyed this short podcast. To listen to our other podcasts and check up on other upcoming events, please visit the EU and International Trade page on Tees Valley Business's website, which is teesvalleybusiness.com. All that's left for me to do is say thank you very much to Ben for answering our questions today.
Thank you very much, Shawnee, no worries. I hope everyone found it informative and hopefully join you again on a future podcast.
I hope so. And a big thank you to everybody who's listened. We hope you'll join us again. Thank you very much and goodbye.